Hey guys, Sia here, and I'm back with another YouTube video. And in this video, really, what my intention is for you is to really enlighten, I'd have to say, people who are newbies in terms of really, getting a better or broader explanation in terms of really how the brokerage system basically works in the currencies market. So what I've decided to do is I looked into my archives in one of the trading courses that I took years back by the founder of Trade Empowered, Jason Stapleton. So yeah, so he's gonna basically take you through that process in terms of really, how do you choose a broker, what to actually look out for, and he's going to give you the basics as well in terms of a rundown, in terms of really the whole how the system basically is put together in that process. So without further ado, let me roll the camera, the clip basically.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the second part of our three-part series on formulating your plan of attack. Last week we talked about getting set, which for me included putting together all the pieces of your trading business that are going to be essential before you actually stepped into the market. For me, that included the solid computer, good internet connection, and a decent charting package. This week we move on to brokers, and brokers is another essential piece of your trading business, but it's also one that causes people a lot of headache.
Yeah.
There are a lot of misconceptions out there as well as a lot of truths, and I want to run through the most common types of brokers, some of the pitfalls that traders run into, and most importantly, what I think is the most critical pieces of information that you need to know and that you need to ask when selecting a broker. This is an exciting lesson, so let's get started.
Rocco!
Now, before we get too far into this, I want to explain exactly what I mean when I talk about a broker, because there are a lot of different types of brokers out there. For the purposes of this exercise, I'm only going to be talking about registered and regulated brokers. These are brokers who have been through the process and are under the scrutiny of some sort of regulatory body. And in the PDF file that I've attached with this video, I've also given you a list of some of the regulatory bodies from different countries from around the world so that you can make a good decision about selecting your own broker. Now, I've taken the time to draw a little grid here to show you kind of the hierarchy of a broker. And we start at the very top with that certified, designated, regulated broker that I was talking about, and they break down into basically three categories. Your deal desk / market making broker, the STP broker, and an ECN broker. And underneath those, you have introducing brokers. Now, introducing brokers are typically smaller brokers that don't have the available capital in order to meet the regulatory requirements that the larger brokers can meet. But the larger brokers use introducing brokers to find clients, so it's a nice symbiotic relationship. A quick note on introducing brokers. Now, a lot of people, when they're looking at introducing brokers, may shy away from the idea of using one simply because, number one, they're not regulated, but more importantly, because the spreads are typically a little bit higher than you would find with a regulated broker. The reason for this is because the introducing broker has to get their piece of the action, and the higher broker has to get their piece of the action. So there's less pieces of action to go around. What ends up happening many times is that the introducing broker ends up adding an extra quarter, half a pip, in some cases a full pip to the spread in order to make their money. While some people might think that this is just a little bit shady, hey, nobody works for free. So understand that going into it. The easiest way to find out whether or not the broker that you're working with is a regulated broker or an introducing broker is simply to ask them. I don't know of anyone who wouldn't tell you that they were. Most people like the idea, if they're an introducing broker, that they have a big name behind them, so they're quick to tell you the name that they work for. Now, some of the benefits to introducing brokers are they're typically smaller firms, which means it's easier to get a hold of your designated broker. If you have problems or issues, the introducing broker typically is is quicker on the jump to make sure that you're getting taken care of than a larger institution. So there's a couple of things to think about when you're looking at introducing broker versus regulated broker or big time broker.
True.
Now, the first topic that we want to cover today is, or the first type of broker that we want to cover today are deal desk or market making brokers. Now these are, well, here you go. These brokers are referred to as retail brokers, and this is probably the type of broker that you're most familiar with. These brokers take the opposing side of your trade and quote-unquote make a market. Their price will closely mimic those of the actual interbank market, but will vary slightly due to lag time. Now, because the brokers have the other side of your trade, when you win, they lose. And this can cause some problems if you win frequently.
True.
Since winning often is not a big problem for most traders, which is why brokers do it.
Yeah.
But if you're good, it can lead brokers to do some of the shady things you hear about, like stop running, high slippage, and the infamous requote.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my deal on market making brokers. A lot of people think that they're scam artists and that they're just out to screw you out of your money. And for some of them that's true, and certainly that was true early on in the FX market business, especially when everybody started going online. It's not so much true today, and if you're careful about your selection, you can find a market making broker that treats you fair and does right. To give you a quick example, PFG, who I have all my clients sign up for with a demo account, we do that through an introducing broker called foremosttrading.com. And the reason that I do that is because I know the guys at Foremost Trading and I know that they're fair brokers. And so I want everyone to have access to them at least to get started. The spreads naturally are not as good as somewhere if you went to a regular broker, but I know that I can get a hold of the guys. I know that they'll treat my guys right, and so I send them there. This is the one thing I will tell you about deal desk or market making brokers. It has to do with requotes. Now, a requote is simply when the market price is X, or the broker is telling you that the market price is X, and when you go to execute the trade, a little pop-up occurs on your screen and it says, that price is no longer available, would you like to resubmit? And when you're trying to enter a trade or exit a trade, this can cost you a lot of money. If you ever receive a requote, if your broker ever requotes you, ever, the first thing that you should do is call your broker, close out your account, and have them send you your money back. There is absolutely no excuse under any circumstances for any reason that a broker should ever requote you. If the broker will not give you the price that he is quoting you, then he should not be quoting you that price.
Yeah.
That's it. Plain and simple. But as I've explained before, with someone like foremosttrading.com, PFG Best, which is who we've done business with, I've done business with before, you can find both introducing brokers and deal desk market making brokers that will treat you fairly and will do things right. See the receipt on my couch? It's because I just bought it in this chair.
Gosh.
STP stands for straight through processing, which means that these brokers have the option, emphasis on option, to route your orders to the interbank market. The critical issue here is that there's no way to tell whether your broker is taking the other side of your trade or if you've been routed to the actual interbank.
By delaying, you simply restrict my ability to do my job.
I'm not trying
Look, you know, I didn't get to where I am today by losing my clients' money.
Well, I certainly wasn't implying
Put your
that.
confidence in myself and JT Marlin, and I'm telling you we'll never have to ask for it again.
Put your confidence in myself and JT Marlin, and I'm telling you, we will never have to ask for it again.
Now, I might be way off base here, but logic would dictate that brokers would break up their traders into two basic categories, good traders and bad traders. My personal belief is that every trader who opens an account with these type of brokers initially find themselves in the bad trader category, or the trader that doesn't get routed to the interbank. If you start winning consistently, then you get moved to the good trader category and start getting your orders routed directly to the interbank market. It should be noted that I've got no foundational basis to believe that brokers route one group of people to a good category and another group to a bad category. I'm simply pointing out that it seems logical to do it that way, and if I was a broker, that's probably the way I would do it. In my opinion, STP brokers are really just a fancy name for a deal desk or a market making broker. It seems to me that they're more of a marketing tool than it is really a legitimate process that you're going to want to be involved with. So I would treat all STP brokers or brokers who claim to do straight through processing as a deal desk broker or a market making broker. And as I've said before, it's that doesn't necessarily mean that the broker is a bad broker. It just means that you want to be cognizant of the way they're routing your orders and what they're doing. The last group we're going to talk about today is the ECN, or Electronic Communication Network brokers. They're brokers who route their orders directly to the interbank market. They have no vested interest whatsoever in the trades that you take. They simply charge you a commission for every round turn that you do. It used to be, years ago, that the only way to reach the interbank market was to work for a bank or a fund. The few brokers who would route via ECN required large institutional accounts for traders to have access. But there are several brokers available, such as MB Trading and Interactive Brokers, who allow you to fund your ECN account for as little as $5,000 today, which is a really nice benefit for those of you who are who have a little more capital to invest and are looking for a broker who has no vested interest in your trade. No, but I need you to not talk to me while I'm getting ready to record. If I'm standing here, the recorder's on. I'm recording right now. I'm recording this very session. Can you just give me a minute? Can I start? Is it okay? All right. All right. So don't drink my coffee. So what we want to do next is talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I've learned over the years about selecting a broker, about what to look out for, and about how to go through the process of kind of vetting these guys and determining where's the best place to put your money. I break it up into two basic categories of traders, either traders who are opening their first account or maybe their second account, and those traders who've been around the block for a while and kind of know the ropes. If you're a new trader, put more emphasis on finding a broker that will give you a personal relationship, someone who you can call and talk to on the phone, someone who can explain things to you, and someone who can help guide you through the process. Basically someone who you can trust that you can get a hold of. We use someone called Foremost Trading, as I mentioned before, who's an introducing broker for PFG. And the reason that I use them is because I know Bob Bunn and Bob Miller over there, and I know that they treat my clients well. When I send them over there, he takes personal attention with them, and that's important to me when I'm dealing with new traders. Now, PFG pays me nothing. Foremost Trading pays me nothing. I get nothing for the recommendation. I simply give that as an example to you of a broker, an introducing broker who has really good access and who it's really easy to get a hold of, and someone that I trust not only with some of my own money, but also with to direct clients to as well. So if you're a new person trying to figure out this trading game, find a broker that's going to give you some personal attention. If you're on the other side of that equation and you've been around the block for a little while, you really know the ropes, go with the ECN broker. Put a little money into your account and get with somebody who is going to give you, the very best spreads, the very best fills, and who has no vested interest in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who are newer and who are searching for some good questions to ask, and this is really true for anybody who's looking for a new broker, some of the common questions that I would ask every time I talk to a broker is, number one, are they regulated by a regulatory body? And of course, if they're not, because they're an introducing broker, who are they introducing for?
True.
And are they regulated? Because ultimately, when the hammer comes down and there are problems, it's that main brokerage that's going to absorb the heat of that.
Yeah.
The second question I would ask is, when I called up, I would see how quickly I could get a hold of somebody important.
Yeah.
Because one of the major problems that you have with with brokerages is getting a hold of somebody when you have a problem.
True.
And if the brokerage company is not going to give you first-rate service when they're looking for your business or they're trying to get your business, how good do you think that service is going to be once you're a client of theirs?
Yeah.
So make sure that you're getting on the phone with them and you're seeing how fast you can get a hold of somebody when you need to talk to them.
That's really true.
The third thing I would ask a broker is, hey, how quickly can I get my money, or what's the process for withdrawing money once I decide I want to take some cash out of my trading account? For example, when I wanted to remove some money from my trading account at Foremost Trading, I sent an email to PFG, and I also sent one to Bob Bunn letting him know what I wanted to do. And I turned around, got an email back and said, yep, no problem, we're going to send you the check now. Not a big deal, a very simple process. I've also been with brokerages where I had to fill out a string of paperwork and I had to wait a set number of days before they would release my money back to me. And guys, I'll tell you, when you're in a pinch, when you need cash, when life changes and you need to take some of that trading capital out, you don't want to be rustling around and working your way through paperwork at a brokerage who's making it difficult for you to withdraw your money.
Yeah.
So find out what the process is ahead of time for getting your money out and try and select a broker who makes that as easy as possible. Well, that's going to do it, guys. Next week, we're going to be talking about different types of traders, be it day trading, swing trading, or position trading. We're going to talk about all three kinds, and we're going to talk about what's probably best for you as a trader, where you're at in life, what you're trying to achieve, and what type of personality you are. All these things should play a factor in you deciding whether or not you want to day trade, swing trade, or position trade. And we're going to cover all of that in general and in specific, and that's going to round out this three-part series on formulating your plan of attack. I hope this has been valuable to you. It's been a blast putting this thing together. And until next time, good luck and good trading. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, so I hope you did actually find that explanation, by Jason Stapleton, really important. And one of the things to actually note about this is the fact that 95% and even more of traders actually fail. And Jason kind of mentioned something important, that you do have brokers who have that expectation. The moment you come in, you are seen as a bad trader, quote unquote, quote end quote. And the reason for this is the market's in a sense, it's a zero-sum game, meaning that if you're making money, someone is losing money. So with these brokers, if you start being consistent and you start making money, it's an alert for them. And some brokers, they start to do shady things, as Jason mentioned in this video. And once you start being consistent and making money, then you can be routed into the interbank exchange, and it can be a good thing. But another point of note as well is he mentioned about ECN accounts, and it's what I also do recommend. Once you have experience and you've been in the game for a bit of while, you can slack and move away from brokers with high spreads and move to brokers such as your ECN brokers, where the spreads are tight and what you are doing. So it ends up becoming more of like a self-service type of brokerage system. But you still can get a hold of support, which is really, really important. So I hope you did actually find this video explanation by Jason Stapleton, as well as me expanding in some of a few things, just highlighting what I've seen as important. And I hope it does help you out. So if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. It does help a lot. Share your thoughts as well on the comment section if you did find this very helpful to you. And if you feel as though there is a buddy or someone out there who could use this advice or this help, then feel free to actually share this video out to the world. So without further ado, see you on the next time when I make more fantastic videos for you guys. Plan your trade, trade your plan. Cheers.